Have you ever asked yourself what a hiring manager is looking for in a candidate in the job interview? And have you ever asked yourself if there's any other way that we can have interview conversations without necessarily wanting to please a hiring manager? Oh, really? Is there any other way? Because we want to please the hiring manager so that we get the job. So the job that we have to do is to please the hiring manager. And how do you do that? Welcome to today's episode. In this conversation, I want to share with you just exactly that, how to get into the mind of the hiring manager so you can please the hiring manager and get recommended for the job. If you're getting here for the first time, this is Careers with Nelly. My name is Nelly, and in this channel, I share content on personal, professional growth and job search strategies, interview tips to help you, my viewer, build a rewarding and fulfilling career. So this episode is about, the conversation is all about how do you get into the mind of the hiring manager. So basically you need to know, what does the hiring manager want? One thing that the hiring manager wants is to hire the best candidate for the job. Another thing they want is to hire at the most convenient cost for the organization. And the third thing is somebody who will help them do the job that they are doing. The hiring manager does not want to hire somebody they'll keep on following up with. The next thing that they want is somebody who they will keep, that they'll not hire you and after some time you leave the organization and they're having to hire. Why? Because the hiring manager is not a recruiter, and recruitment is actually not his or her job, not what they are paid to do on a daily basis, but they have to be involved in the recruitment of once in a while when they're looking for resources for their team. So you've already understood what the hiring manager wants. So how then do you get into their mind? So you get into their mind by displaying what they want to see, by saying the things they want to hear, and by actually convincing them of all the points that I've said. At the end of your conversation, you need to convince them that you're the best candidate for the job, even if they're interviewing 100 people, that you will be hired at a cost that will be convenient for the company, that they will retain you. You're not the person they're going to hire, and after 6 months or after a few months, you have left and you're taking them back to the interview room, and that you will help them deliver on their objective. You will help them deliver on their job. We always told that managers deliver through people. So you are the person that they will deliver through, and you will make their work easy. You will not be the person they will be playing a cat and race game with. They will not be having to follow you to do your work. They'll not be having to send you reminders to submit a report that you should be submitting. And you will meet the deliverables as per the expectations they or the company set for you. So here is how you do this. The first thing you need to do if you want to get into the mind of the hiring manager and win the job is to demonstrate value in the interview. So by demonstrating value means you need to convince the hiring manager and the team that if they hire you, they are going to get value. And especially this applies across, whether you're applying or rather whether you're interviewing for an entry-level job or whether you're interviewing for a mid-level or a top level. From whatever you are, whatever level you are in the organization, you're expected to add value from the entry level to the middle level to the top level. So then how do you demonstrate value? By revealing that the person, that you're actually a person who has what it takes to deliver in the job. This can be displayed by your personality, your unique strength, your character, and of course your qualifications and previous achievements. So this brings me to the point that I want to let you know that it is quite important that when you're in the interview, to demonstrate value, bravely speak about your personality, bravely speak about your past experience, your past achievement that are relevant to the job. Bravely speak about your unique skills. And that's why sometimes they ask you, what are some of the key strengths and or weaknesses that you have? So you need to display and demonstrate value, that I am the person who has all it takes in terms of the attributes that I've mentioned that will help you to deliver rightly in this role. So the next one, as I said, is that you need to show the hiring manager that you are the right hire. Let them not think after hiring you that, we actually made a mistake by hiring this person. So prove to them that you are the right hire by speaking their language. So when you speak their language, this takes me back to what I always like saying, that you need to first understand their problem. So come in that interview once you've understood the problem of the company. So if you're getting, for instance, into the IT department, I expect you to get into that company after maybe trying a few of their services. If it is their mobile app, you ought to have tried it. So when you get into the interview, you can actually say, I will help you maybe by improving this functionality that is not functioning well, maybe in your mobile app. If it is in terms of maybe their social media or their website, you've gone through it, you've understood and seen a problem, that you can actually pick that and say, if you hire me for this role, I can help maybe correct you this in your website, the interface and all that. So get into the interview when you already know the problem of your target client, because that's actually your target client. You're coming in there to provide a service and get paid for it. So if you speak their language, and a person's language or their language in this context is the problem that they're looking to solve. Guys, like I always say, I repeat this over and over, that every hire is a solution to a problem that an employer has. So what problem are you coming to solve? So once you come in knowing it and you speak it into the interview, you're already speaking, I have a problem. Like the same way when you go to the hospital and you've already seen the doctor. When you see the doctor, you're actually talking about your problems. I'm feeling this and that, because they have the solution to your problem. So speak their language. Let them know that you know the problems that they're facing in that space they want to hire for, and you're the best person to fix that by instantly offering those solutions when you are hired. Another way that you can get into the mind of the hiring manager is to practically demonstrate how your previous experience aligns to what they're looking for that job. So how do you show this? And maybe just before we get there, one of the common mistakes that people do in interviews and even in their resumes is putting their experience in a more narration way than in a descriptive and achievement-oriented manner. So you need to be very practical when you're displaying or when you're speaking about your previous work experience. So then this takes me back again to just emphasize the need of having you gone through the job description really well to understand what type of experience do they want, what does the role entail. So for instance, if they were looking for a recruiter, for example, I think I like giving experiences of recruitment because maybe that's where I am. So a recruiter, for example, then you need to demonstrate practically what is your experience with recruitment. So you'll say something like, I have handled this number of recruitment assignments, and my functions or my responsibilities have been running a 360 recruitment process that is from advertising of role, reviewing of job descriptions, shortlisting, headhunting for candidates, executive search, and shortlisting, interviewing candidates, managing the contracting process, and even conducting candidates' background checks. It actually shows somebody that you understand that. Then also shows that in all this you've done, what then has been your achievement. And some of my achievements has been reducing the recruitment time, the time taken to recruit, increased quality of new hires because I have a keen eye to getting the best talent. And another achievement has been reducing on the recruitment costs by hiring correctly. So you're supposed to show practically what is it that you have done. Then typically, and you need to also align what were they looking for, what type of recruiter were they looking for. Maybe if they highlighted things like you need to understand how to use the correct recruitment matrix to measure the success of recruitment or to measure key aspects of recruitment. So you need to also mention that you have, because of course if you're a recruiter, you have been using recruitment metrics to measure your success rate and all that. So it's important that you mention that if they're looking for someone who will act as a strategic partner to the hiring managers, to the other stakeholders when recruiting, you need to mention that, because if you're recruiting, you're actually working as a partner, as a strategic partner to the hiring managers, the C-suite leaders, the departmental heads, just to help them identify good talent and match them with the good talent that they're looking for. So you need to go through the job description and descriptively mention your experience in line to what that job description wants. And also when it comes to the skills, the exact skills that they were looking for, also mention directly from the job description. As a recruiter, I have skills, in this and that. So you need to mention the skills that are relevant to that job that you've picked from the job description. And of course, this also needs to be the things that you can do. So I always also tell people that understanding a job description is quite key, because it will just give you a 360 degrees help. It will give you the correct terminologies to use. There are those industry jargons that whenever you use them, somebody really just says, you know what you're talking about. So you're speaking their language. You can only speak their language if you understand what is it that they want from that description. In terms of skills, what are those skills that they want? So you need to really, really, really study that job description keenly and deeply. So it will help you to speak those industry words, relevant terminologies that they want, and it really connects well to just tell someone that you know what you're talking about. Speak their language in terms of just mentioning the things that they want from that job descriptions, in terms of skills, in terms of competencies, in terms of the experience, in terms of the traits that they're looking for. And that will really, really put you in a perfect place for being selected for that job. Another way to just get into the mind of the hiring manager is to show culture fit. So let us now, getting away from the technical fit for the job. You've nailed that by speaking good of your experience and aligning it to what they want to hear, using the best industry terms when you're describing your skills and competencies for the role. And you've also gone to the level that you've spoken about your achievement and how it aligns. You've started by telling them how you'll be a solution, by mentioning some of the problems that they have and how you'll solve them. So that if you meet that threshold, which is usually like 80% of that is used 80% of the selection process, now it is time to show culture fit. You can be a good candidate technically, but the moment the hiring manager tells that you'll not be good for that culture, you can't make it in that interview. And how do they tell? Because the culture fit mostly comes out when they're able to read your traits, when they're able to read your personality. And these are things that interviewers are actually trained to read. So somebody will just see if you completely display a negative personality and they say, this is not somebody who will come and fit in our environment. This environment is fast-paced. We need someone who's very agile, someone who's very aggressive, someone who takes up initiative, a self-starter, not somebody who we are going to push. So how then do you know how to display these right traits that will automatically show that you're the right fit for that culture? Come back to the time that you're preparing for the interview, and you need to ensure that you understand the company culture. Where can you get all this information to learn about the company's culture? Of course, from their website, social media platforms, and by interacting with their colleagues. And you can interact with their colleagues on several platforms, and I always recommend LinkedIn because it has companies and everyone who works there publicly displayed. So you need to get to a feel and a taste of what the culture looks like. If it's a culture that loves that has maybe that has a lot of young employees, the Gen Zs, the the millennials, then you need to know that this is a vibrant place. So you have to come out as somebody who's vibrant, somebody who's sociable, somebody who can socialize with people, somebody who can work well and fit within young teams, agile, vibrant teams. So you need to understand the culture so you're able to actually just display. And most companies nowadays are very intentional about displaying their culture. You see how they display their culture in the adverts, in the advertisement that they put out on social media, in how they put out their content, in how they advertise their jobs. So it is all over, and you can actually pick that so you display the right culture. That will convince the hiring manager that you'll be the best culture fit. They don't want you to come, you're so good. Like somebody was telling me of a story also. I get to talk to so many people, so I have so many stories where they'd hired a very good person, but this person could not fit because they were very arrogant. There are companies that can tolerate that, but there are companies who are very, like the way you go to a company's website and read their values. One of our values is integrity, one of it is respect. Most companies, of course, will just write that on their website, but there are people who are very deliberate about what they write. If they say respect for each other, it is respect for each other. And if you're going to that place to show disrespect to people, become arrogant, then you'll automatically not be the right fit. So it really, really matters. That is why hiring managers want to pick the culture fit right from the point of recruitment. So they are sure that they are not going to bring somebody who is going to distort or change the culture of the company. And the last way, which is very, very important, please just listen to this. If you have a pen, just note it down, is to convince them that you will be retained. You will not come and after a few months or after a few years you left. Companies invest a lot in you as an employee. The number one thing that they really invest in is that they give you an opportunity to grow and utilize your skills, so you never become obsolete in any way. They train you. For companies that offer training, whether they are done internally or externally, resources are used to train you. Again, they've trusted you with so much confidential information. You know everything about the company. You know their strategy. You know their tricks that they really never want a competitor to know. So they really entrust you with so much information that they will not want it to just come in your hands and after a few months it's going outside there because you've left the company. So how do you convince them that you're actually there to be retained? Here is how you do it. They will ask you questions around, they're like, for example, one most common question to test this is, what are your future plans? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? I don't like asking it in that way anyway, for reasons best known to me. So what are your future plans? So they want to see themselves in this future plan. And sincerely speaking, it's not that I'm telling you to go and be dishonest. Even me, if I'm hiring, I will not want to hire somebody who will not stay with me for so long. It's just naturally being selfish and naturally just wanting to hold the best. Oh yeah. So as I also give you an opportunity to grow, are you also going to serve me for as long as you're comfortable staying here? So they'll ask you questions around, what are your future plans? And they want to see themselves in that future plan. So in the next 2 years, I want to see myself in this company, but I want to see myself in the next role. I want to see myself growing in a different role. Yes, I want to be with you, but please, I don't want to be here 3 or 4 years still in the same role. So as I also grow, so that it also poses a challenge for them. I say that I want to be here for 3 years, but not in the same role. In the next 3 years, I wish to shall have gotten promoted into the next role. So it also poses a challenge for them that, do we have that opportunity for this person? They begin to think of, what does the career path or the promotion paths look like in this role? So you need to tell them that you see yourself in that company, but you see yourself growing. I want to be here in the next 10 years, but I want to see myself now in the CEO or in a director position of this good company, So it's really good to show them that you have them in your plan. They are in your plan in the next 3, 5, 10, 6 years that you want to stay. So that it also shows that you're growth oriented. You're not coming to stay there for 5 years, 10 years, just in the same role. Yes. So if you've ever wondered what is in the mind of the hiring manager, you got it from this video. As I said when we were starting, they want to be convinced that you are the best person that they should hire for this role. And hiring you will not be a mistake. They don't want to make a mistake. They don't want to be part of the process or part of the team that brought in a wrong hire. So you have all the reasons to fight for your place, convince them that you're the right person, and convince them that you are the solution that their company is looking for. So yeah, you have it. Next time you're going for an interview, be very intentional about displaying these things that we've discussed in these videos, and let me know your feedback. Thank you so much for watching. If you've not subscribed, please, this is a good time for you to just subscribe so you join this community where we're all about learning. Share this video with your friends and your network so we reach a large community and make this community even stronger. Till next time, bye-bye.